And this time we're going to be tasting the Chivas Regal 18 years old, created back in 1997 by our master blender, Colin Scott. It's a whisky that Colin is rightly very proud of, and it bears his name on the collar of the bottle. Sometimes people think that, you know, a malt whisky is the only true Scotch whisky, and they look down on blends to some extent. I can assure you, if you try Chivas Regal 18 and compare it to many 18-year-old single malts, this will leave them far behind. I sometimes think that you can compare a blended whisky with a horizontal line. In other words, you have a great range and spectrum of flavours coming together. On the other hand, a malt whisky is more like a vertical line, where you're getting depth and intensity of flavour without the same range of flavours that a malt has. So one is no better than the other, they're just different. And it depends on the occasion. Sometimes I prefer a malt, and sometimes I like the smoothness and the complexity of a blended whisky like this. So let me pour a little. Now, first of all, just look at the colour of this. Almost like walnut. Really quite dark. Absolutely love it. I love to see that colour. If I could find a woman with eyes that colour, I'd fall in love all over again. And you see when you swirl it and let it settle, these are what I call the angel's tears on the side of the glass. This is the whisky that the angels didn't get. So they're now casting a few tears because we're going to enjoy it. Absolutely lovely. And on the nose, depth and richness. Dried fruits like raisins and sultanas. And really no spiritiness at all, even without adding water. Very rich and indulgent. Lovely. But I am going to add a little water, as I always do. Adding a little bit more water than I normally would, because this really is a nosing session. And we know that whiskies are best evaluated at 20% alcohol, I'm sorry. So swirl it in the glass, slide and sniff. And this one it's almost like Christmas cake. That rich dried fruits. Dark chocolate, which I'm also very fond of. And the smoothness and richness and that Speyside character that Chivas Regal is always famed for. Absolutely lovely. Buttery toffee, and still a hint of vanilla coming through. And so smooth. Smooth, rich, indulgent, very much the Chivas Regal style. And a great tribute to our master blender, Colin Scott. To you, Colin, Slàinte mhath.